This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
We always appreciate talking with Alyssa, of course, from Pig Trail Nation. Happy Tuesday, Alyssa. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm laughing because I just pulled into the Lowe's parking lot. I've got to pick up something. So Saul's birthday is on Thursday. And I ordered something online, and I was going to pick it up at curbside after we do this radio interview. And no joke, I pull into the parking lot, and guess who's walking into the store?
So,
my husband. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, nothing. I'm not doing anything.
that's a small town moment right there, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But other than that, I'm doing great, guys.
What's the number Saw's turning?
34.
Oh,
He's
all
a
right.
1990s baby, which makes math really easy for me.
He's a baby then. He's a baby. All right. Well, happy early birthday to Sawyer.
Thank you.
And I know Mike Neighbors at a media availability earlier today. We talk so much about the men's team and how, there's not going to be an NCAA tournament in their future, maybe NIT. The women's team right now, look, I mean, if they go 2-2 in these next 4 games, and that's an if, because they're tough games. At A&M Thursday, Vanderbilt at home, Carolina at home, Ole Miss on the road. Carolina's one thing. Ole Miss on the road be pretty tough. I think Arkansas can beat Vanderbilt this Thursday against A&M. I think this is huge.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. And you're absolutely right. Last week at the coaches' luncheon, Mike Neighbors had his assistants, and we were talking with Todd Schaefer, and he said the NCAA has never left out an 8-8 SEC team. They've got to get to that 500 mark, and so that is the goal right now. But like you said, every win is a premium, and of those 4, I think Texas A&M and Vanderbilt are the most winnable. I think you put South Carolina in the L column. They're just that good this year. And like you said, Ole Miss is really tough. Coach Yo's got that team playing really, really well at home specifically. So you also have a Texas A&M team that up until a few weeks ago, they were the best defensive scoring team in the country. They're still right up there, if not still the best defensive scoring team in the country, and holding teams to their lowest score points of the year. So that's the biggest challenge for this team is can they go down there and score? And we have seen, I know, Phil, a lot where if this team isn't scoring, they kind of panic a little bit and things go downhill. So this is a big game on the road. Joni Taylor's done really well with that program since taking over after Gary Blair retired, and it's a big one for sure.
I don't know if Mike addressed Talhiah Scott's absence. She went. I guess she's back home with what was described as a serious family emergency. The crazy thing is, and this is independent of her talent and how good of a player she is, they've played better without Talhiah than they have with her in conference.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you scratch your head and wonder why, because of how good she is and how dominant she can be offensively. But I think that kind of just goes back to a gel thing early on. Again, she's just a freshman, and she's stepping into a place where with Michaela Daniels and Samara Spencer specifically, those two have been playing together now for 3 seasons. And it's hard to sometimes bring another person in brand new and keep that consistency and that continuity a little bit. And I think that, they're playing better possibly with her, and it's tough to say that, but because of the way that Michaela and Sam know each other so well, I mean, they always know where each other is on the court. They play so well together. Those two right there branch out everybody else. Sailor, Miriam, Carly. I think those two just complement each other so well that might have a lot to do with it.
Hey, Alyssa, did you get to check out any of the All-Star festivities, and specifically, did you check out the Sabrina versus Steph three-point contest?
It's funny because I knew you were going to ask me about that. I didn't get to watch any of it, but I did get to watch a few highlights with Sabrina and listen to some of her post-game interviews about, how much, a shooter's a shooter. Doesn't matter if you're a male or a female, which is pretty cool. And, Caitlin Clark is getting all of this notoriety right now, as she should and deserves. But, I think some people might have forgotten what Sabrina Ionescu was doing at Oregon a couple of years ago and what she's doing right now in the WNBA and all that success. And that was really cool to see.
I think Caitlin Clark is the number one most as far as known about, or the biggest college star right now in college basketball, men or women. What are your thoughts, Alyssa? Does she come back and take advantage of this NIL deal? Because I'd have to think she can make more money at Iowa.
She probably can, and we know that because so many WNBA players play overseas to kind of help with the finances because they just don't make a lot of money in the WNBA. And if I'm her, then I definitely really, really heavily consider that coming in. If you saw, I don't know, UConn had their senior day with Paige Beckers, and she's coming back. She said, I'm coming back. And if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'm paying attention to who's coming back around the country and what I can make and what I can do. And you're selling out arenas right now at Iowa, and I would kind of maximize that as much as I could if I was her.
Do you see her in any other jersey but an Iowa Hawkeye jersey? Because there's other programs out there. If it's Tennessee, if it's UConn, South Carolina, they pay the money to get that name. Any chance she's playing in a different uniform other than Iowa Hawkeyes?
I would say no, but I also don't know if that would surprise me. I really think that she is committed so hard to Iowa and bringing Iowa a national championship, and how they have really rallied around her, obviously filling out the arenas and having that audience for her. She would have that if she goes somewhere else, 100%. But I don't know if I see her as someone who is just going to run for the money somewhere else after she's dedicated a lot of time to one spot.
Let's talk a little baseball here with you, Alyssa. Now, I'll admit, I don't know if I've seen like a ton of criticism about the one loss, but people are acting as if there's a ton of criticism on the one loss, at least on social media. But, we know how realistic life is on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all of that kind of stuff. Does one loss to James Madison make you worry at all, or is it just a matter of that's the way the ball bounces and you can't win them all in baseball?
Yeah, it's baseball, guys. Arkansas was never going to go undefeated, and here's the deal. If anyone wants to point a finger and blame at anyone, you can blame me, because I told my dad, who was supposed to come out and watch this series with us over the weekend and tore his Achilles playing pickleball a few weeks ago and couldn't. He is a JMU alum, as is my mom, as is my sister, and I was like, all right, guys, you can have a game. Like, hopefully, maybe the Dukes don't get swept, JMU can have a game. And so if anyone wants to be mad, just be mad at me, because I told them that they could have it, and they got that one win, and that was big for the program, and Arkansas is going to be just fine moving on. So people who are freaking out, you know what? Just turn your attention to Gainesville, who lost their first game against St. John's, and then, oh, no, rain. Oh, no, we're not going to play anymore. So right now they're 0-1 on the season. So
I heard a Florida State fan in that little bit on Florida there. I heard just a little bit of a Seminole fan there.
No, I just, I'm sure Courtney's listening, so I just want to heckle her a little bit more.
Arkansas Razorbacks men team, College Station tonight. I don't know if Graham's going to play. It scares me. Mississippi State kind of crushed us on the boards. That's kind of what A&M does, is really pound the glass. Any chance we can get something going?
Yeah, the way that they played A&M last time was promising, except for the way that it finished, because they had such a nice lead leading into the end of that game, and then they whittled it away. Texas A&M did, and that's what Buzz Williams does. Is they're just gritty and they're going to grind games out, and then next thing you know, it's a 2-point game, and it's got to go into OT. So we'll see. I really, really liked how Mekhi Mitchell has played over the past couple weeks. He's been really impressive for this team, and so maybe he can take another step up with or without Jalen Williams there to help out and see what happens. But again, on the road at Texas A&M, it's a dangerous place to play. Kentucky saw that earlier this year, and Buzz Williams is good. And so I can't really bank on anything with this men's team, because quite frankly, I don't necessarily know if we trust them enough to do what we think they should be doing. So buckle up.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.